Good afternoon, everyone, to beautiful people. Once again, welcome to my YouTube channel. And I am again delighted. I am coming here back after 15 days. And I am trying to maintain the consistency. But yes, as I said, welcome to you all. And to those who have come here for the first time, I want to welcome you. I am Dr. Stuti Parde, and I am a naturopathy consultant as well as a mental health practitioner, and I'm here to basically motivate you and help you basically live the life that you deserve to live. We are actually expanding, and we are advancing, we are upgrading. And I want to introduce my NeuroCBT course, which we have launched. And currently, we have the first cohort that is actually going on. We will be starting the second cohort in the month of October, and I will be leaving out the details for the NeuroCBT practitioner diploma course, which is accredited by QAHE, which is based in the UK, and ACTD, American Council of Training and Development, which is based in the USA. ETSA Trinity is officially registered in the state of California, and we have parent branch in India, which started in 2016. So we are expanding our services also to professionally train the already practitioners who have their degree, or perhaps those who are interested in exploring the career in the field of mental health. And we are actually progressing towards more towards neurological way of treating disorders, whether it be emotional and physical. So all the details are given in the link below in the description. So please go through that. Yes, and we look forward to, if you're interested, we look forward to your queries. You can officially email us. Coming back in the last two sessions, we have looked up until, I think, the fifth premise, and we are following the book that is, it's a mastermind course in a way, which will help you to introspect and which will help you to challenge yourself in a way uh, to, to find answers that you are looking for. We all are looking for certain answers, and perhaps the reason why you have landed up here is not by accident. It is not a coincidence. Maybe you are meant to be here. And I would encourage you that you stay on till the last section so that you're able to understand. And if you haven't watched my first two previous sessions, please go ahead and watch my first two previous sessions so you are able to understand this third session. Thank you again. And I am delighted. I try my best to be consistent, and I will be doing that. I won't be giving up. I will definitely try to be more prompt in coming here every week, and I am trying my best to do that. So let's look at the sixth premise. And as you all know, I don't read word to word, but I try to give explanation to what I've understood in this particular course. So when we read, it starts off, the subconscious section of the mind appears to be the only doorway of individual approach to infinite intelligence. Now, let me just stop here. Ahead, I guess, or ahead of the scores, perhaps there will be a section where they talk about, where you would come to know that subconscious mind is not that particular mind, but basically it is your whole being. It is your being, as in your body. Subconscious mind is the embodiment of who you are in a way. And when they refer to infinite intelligence, I personally refer to infinite intelligence as God, because I connect to this word as God. Some people nowadays call universe, and also that is your personal way of looking at it, but I personally call God. So we all are basically spiritual beings. The reason because God has created all of us in a very unique and beautiful way. And in the word of God, it says that our body is a temple of the living God. And so that's what is so important, that being spiritual beings, we are connected to that supernatural divine creator of ours. It's so important because without the divine intervention in our lives, none of us would be here. I think so. There is a divine intervention in our life, and that's why we are alive. That's why we are breathing, and that's why we are what we are. So this is how I actually see it as. Um, when we go ahead, it says that subconscious section of the mind is the only doorway of individual approach to infinite intelligence. That means it is through the subconscious mind, through the embodiment of the subconscious mind, that we are able to connect with our creator. And the reason why it is said is subconscious mind, if technically we see, it is basically the memories. This is stored memories right from your childhood. And subconscious mind is also the default mode of network. And so basically, when we say that we go through many trials and we go through challenges in life, if you can connect with this, that it is in those times we connect with our creator, we connect with God, we connect with the one we have faith in. And that actually is not the correct way of doing it, basically, because our connection with the divine creator, the one who created us, has to be despite the challenges that we face. So it is said that it is a subconscious mind. That is what we interpret as that, when subconscious mind is basically the doorway to every stored memory. It could be positive and negative, because we all go through both the positive experiences and the negative experiences. But it is only during the negative experiences that we tend to connect with our creator. And that's what it means to say here. But it is also, the book also encourages us, if we are to first first have that personal relationship with the creator, then perhaps we are able to handle the crisis, the critical situations or the challenges in a very decent way, in a very organized way, because then it is our creator, it's our God, who helps us through the process of where we go through the difficult situations of our life. Every situation that we go through, many people see it as challenges, and now we can say that those challenges are basically the lessons that we are supposed to learn. They are the opportunities for us to grow. And so when we connect at that level with our creator, we are able to understand that, and we are able to interpret also. So when we connect with the creator who created us, then we go into the predictive language. It is called predictive code of language, which we understand. Then we are able to understand the clues that life tends to give us through the challenges we face, through the difficult times we face. So even in the worst of situations, there when we are connected with our divine creator, either the creator is able to protect us from what adversity we are going to face, because that's the reason why I love Bible, because in the Bible there are very much straightforward affirmations and promises of God that we can hold on to. And then for you, those who do not believe, or those whose faith is very different, you can hold on to very strong affirmations, that where you know that there is a divine creator at hand. So for example, if you are going through if you're going through a difficult situation, or maybe you're at crossroads, then when you are connected with the creator, you already know how to handle yourself or compose yourself in such situation, how to keep your emotions balanced even in such situations. The basic the basis of approach is faith based upon definiteness of purpose. That one sentence gives you the whole key to the paragraph. faith based upon definiteness of purpose. Do you have any idea why you don't have as much as confidence in yourself as you should have? Have you ever stopped to think about that? Have you ever stopped to think about why it is? When you see an opportunity coming along, or what you believe to be an opportunity, you begin to question your ability to embrace it and use it. Haven't you had that happen to you many times? If you have had a chance to be closely associated with people who are very successful, you will know that is one thing that they are not bothered by. If they want to do something, it never occurs to them that they can't do it. So, when we talk about definiteness of purpose, which we have been discussing right from the start, definiteness of purpose is very much a spiritual thing, because it is kind of like when you are very specific of or clear about what your purpose is. Even when you have to take an assignment, what is the purpose behind that assignment? And when you know the purpose, the intention and motive behind any kind of assignment that you're going to do, and you add on faith to it. Faith is, again, I would stress that faith is not something that you see. Faith comes from believing in something that you have not seen yet. All right. So it is a belief that it is going to happen regardless of what your pathway looks like, and especially when the creator is in your boat, then you know that everything that comes along the way is going to be part of helping you reach towards your purpose. So it's very important. When we look at successful people, Thomas Edison, Andrew Carnegie, and all those successful people who managed to reach on the top, they had definiteness of purpose in their life. Henry Ford, he had a definiteness of purpose. And so all these people, they the life was not like a straight pathway for them, but they had vision. They knew what they wanted. They knew the motive behind their purpose, and they had tremendous faith in the creator. Whatever their faith was, they did believe that if I've started off, then I know that there will be a completion, but with the help of the creator, with the help of the divine being. Now you may be thinking, why do I keep repeating this? To be very honest with you, I do respect if you are someone who is watching right now who doesn't believe in God. I respect that you perhaps do not have faith in God, or maybe you have a different perspective, or you have a different approach. What I would like to say is, just think about it. Just think about this one thing. We do believe that there is presence of air, right? Do we see air? We don't see air. We only know that it is present. And the same thing I would say is of the divine. Now, when we talk about different religions or different faith, then that is another topic, and this is not to be discussed over here. And that is your outlook on how your belief system is, what your belief system is made of. I only want to encourage that you have to base your belief system not in the traditional way, but based on your own experience as an individual adult, because you are independent regardless of what your upbringing is, and that's what this mastermind course is about. So keep that in mind. Let's move ahead. So basically, there is a little bit of an example given regard of Mr. Stone, and I really don't think we should go through that. Coming to the conclusion part of it, it only says that for anything to be achieved, there has to be confidence, like Mr. Stone also had that confidence within him. And our mind, which I call also, a mind, I do see mind is an embodiment of brain. It's the brain, basically. Brain is the hardware where we basically have to keep on commanding. We have to let the brain know what the definite purpose is, and we need the brain to know the motive, and it helps us, that is the the whole being, to create circumstances or to transform everything that we envision and we direct into reality. So conditioning your brain for success, basically. And I don't want you guys to get confused between brain and mind. So in our neuro CBT practitioner course, we do discuss regarding the difference, regarding the language that is used, what is brain and then mind, and so we have actually discussed that. As if you're interested, it will be a great learning for you guys. So yeah, do consider that. Let's move on to the seventh premise, and the seventh premise is, it is said, so a brain is such a beautiful organized. I never knew that my brain, I have always taken for granted myself. So when I learned a lot about brain, I started falling in love with the study of brain, with the study of neurons, and how neurons have a network, and this network is so important to the life that we live, because it is brain is said to be a broadcasting station, and our thoughts play a very important and significant role in that. So every thought that is received is kind of like a broadcasting station, because that thought carries certain chemical signals which are then dispersed into the field of reality. And so that's what. Uh, this fact explains the importance of moving with definiteness of purpose instead of drifting, since the brain may be so thoroughly charged with the nature of one's purpose that it will begin to attract the physical or material equivalence of that purpose. So, whatever we have discussed all along. So, going through the previous paragraph, we can analyze, and through the discussion right from the start, we can analyze and we can understand that connecting with your creator is actually very important for you to then draw the definiteness of purpose. And that's what many people say, that connecting with the creator is basically the power of consciousness. That's when you really become conscious. That is like knowing the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So the first premise, or the first foundation, is basically having a very strong connection with the one who created you, with your creator, with your divine, because then you know that you have charged up your power of consciousness, which also helps you to then create thoughts that are equivalent to that. When you are completely connected with the divine, and when you're operating at that level of consciousness, you can understand that automatically you're subconsciously programmed for thoughts that are more or less the winning thoughts, that are thoughts which are resonating and which would resonate with the creator, because it's a partnership. I call it a partnership. So it's a partnership between you and the creator, to make your life the best. So I believe that a life is supposed to be lived to the fullest. And how do we live to the fullest? Is by being conscious, by asking for things that are relevant. Many people would pray for money. Many people would pray for, like, good marriage and etc. But the first thing that I have learned personally is seeking for wisdom. When we seek for wisdom, wisdom in its whole helps us to then live a life with with discernment, and it also helps us to win over circumstances, because wisdom helps us to activate our intuition, and our intuition helps us to then get connected to the right opportunities that would help us to use our skills. And when we use our skills, when we use a skill set, it is inevitable that you would get rewarded for using your skill set. So that's how it does. An example, I have a couple of Pomeranian dogs and they know exactly what I'm thinking. Sometimes before I know, they are so smart that they can tune on me. When we start off for an automobile ride, they know whether they are going or not. You don't have to say a word because they're in constant attunement with this through telepathy. So it's amazing example how even if the dogs they are attuned to the masters actually. And the reason why they are attuned is there is tremendous faith, trust, and that comes with love as well. So they love their masters so much that they can trust their masters blindly, and so much so that they actually can read a non-verbal language, because dogs cannot communicate via words. They can only communicate via feelings and emotions, and so they connect with their master at that level. So there is a very strong telepathy that takes place, and that's exactly what precisely even the is this course is all about. It is attuning yourself to the creator, and then the creator helps you to attune yourself to the outer external world. Your mind is sending out vibrations constantly. If you're a salesman and you're going to call on a prospective buyer, the sale ought to be made before you come into the presence of the buyer. So everything is envisioned beforehand, before it happens. You have to know and have the trust. Even when, like example, you are a salesperson and you are actually going to go to a potential buyer. Even before you reach the potential buyer, you need to be of that, you need to carry that kind of vibration. You need to carry those kind of thoughts with you, because thoughts, they are vibrationary and they disperse their chemistry in the environment, and so that has to happen. So you have to connect with the potential buyer even before you meet the buyer, knowing and having faith that whatever you would speak actually in our faith, we often pray even before we do anything, and that helps us to connect then. So believing that whatever words would come out of your mouth in front of the potential buyer, that their heart would connect with your heart, with your vision, and that they are able to get buy that purchase or purchase that whatever you're selling. So it's the conditioning that way. So you're conditioning the situation even before in the mind, and that is a positive conditioning. When you channelize your thoughts to your purpose, then your thoughts won't wander. You would not be looking at the negative stuff. Then it is, you would be channeling your thoughts, and your default mode of network will only be towards winning, towards your purposes, towards achieving your purposes. So that is why it is said that it's so important to condition your brain that way, to condition your thoughts that way. um, there is another example that would give us a little bit of illustration on how broadcasting station works. So say you need $1,000 really badly. You've got to have that thousand by the day after tomorrow, or they are going to take back the car or the furniture. You just have to have that $1,000. You go down to the bank, and the moment you walk inside of the door, the banker can tell that you just have to have it, and he doesn't want you to have it. So can you just resonate with this equation? How many of us, especially when it comes to situations where we are actually in real need of money, and when we need certain amount, in a certain amount on a particular day. And this is an example of how if this person, like an example given here, if that money isn't paid, then there is a chance that a car may go, or the furniture may go. So let's see what happens. So it is very tragic. It is not funny when you land up in such situation. You carry the matches around in your pocket often sometimes and set your own house on fire. You broadcast your thoughts and they precede you. When you get there, you find that instead of getting the cooperation you want, the other person reflects back to you that state of doubt, that state of mind that you sent out ahead of you. So when you are in need, it also depends what kind of emotion is attached with that need. So if it is a need of out of desperation, and when you victimize yourself in that, there is a victimized emotion with that need, then it comes with a lot of doubt, with a lot of fear, with a lot of worry. And in that case, it is unlikely that someone would support you. Rather, if you go with a grateful or a gratitude that I do believe that I don't know where I would get this $1,000 from, uh, and just trusting the process, then there is high possibility that you definitely would get what you really desire. And it has happened so many, even in my example of when I was studying outside of India, and when I had to depend on my part-time income for certain things, and I would not know where it would come from, but the faith in me uh, allowed me to relax. And you need to be in the state of relaxation. That is, you need to be in the state of where you know and trust the process that yes, whatever I need would come, and it would come in a miraculous way. There would be a resource sent towards me so that my need is fulfilled. So there is another example given here about the salesmanship. I used to teach salesmanship. I made my living that way for a long time while I was doing the research on this philosophy. And I've taught over 30,000 salesmen. Many of them now have become members of the $1 million roundtable in the life insurance field. And if there is one thing in this world that has to be sold, it's life insurance. It's amazing. So we know how much we hate these calls of insurance, but then this is an example of teaching salesmanship to someone who is selling life insurance. Nobody ever buys life insurance. It has to be sold. Very true. The first thing that I taught those people under my direction was that they must make the sale to themselves before they try to make it to the other fellow. How true is that? If they don't do that, they are not going to make a sale. Somebody might buy something from them, but they'll never make a sale unless they first make it to themselves. So it's a beautiful, beautiful philosophy. When you have a product that you want someone to purchase, you are the first one. You can buy that of you, and that's amazing because you would be the first one. When you purchase it, it is very sure that the others would follow that process. So it's a beautiful way of, like, a wonderful way of saying that, once you make that first purchase as a potential buyer, as the one who's selling it, then it's more likely that the sales would follow off, because then you are in that your own, you have purchased it, you have an experience, you are sending out a vibration, positive message that people can trust the product to buy. Another thing that I'll call to your attention, sometimes you feel moody, you feel a little bit blue, you don't know what the trouble is. Do you ever feel that way? We all do. We all do feel moody. We all feel a little bit blue, and we sometimes don't know why do we feel that way. I don't anymore. If you're in bad frame of mind, study yourself carefully and trace down the cause of it. So it is said, if you feel that you're feeling depressed, you're feeling low, you're feeling these symptoms out of nowhere, then you definitely have to trace the cause of it. Did you know that you're constantly picking up the vibrations being released by other moody people, people who are in a state of frustration? Did you know that now their world is in a state of chaos? People are talking about the total destruction of mankind. They're looking and praying for the day when the H bomb will come along and wipe out whole cities. And we hear it in news. So sometimes when our mood is off, we are feeling depressed, then we should also understand and actually accept that perhaps we are picking up on the vibrations, the mood vibrations, the emotions of other people that are around us. People could be within the family, or people may be living, maybe your neighbors, or maybe even your community. So even the TV, whatever we watch on television, if it's talking constantly about destruction, and we are hearing the negative news, this is going to affect our frame of mind. It is not to say that we can't watch it, but if you are in a position where you can't do anything, then you can definitely emit positive signals, positive messages from your side, from your brain tower to the world. heal the world. And you can just say, I just heal the world. I just sent healing to whoever is being negative right now. So when you're feeling that, means it is giving you a message that there is something that you are catching, which may not stem out from you, but it may be in the surrounding. And so you need to be aware of that. And if it is in surroundings, especially when it's your family member who you can't just leave and go, or you may be in a situation that you can't ignore, then you can just send out prayer, protect yourself, protect that person, send out positive prayers for that person, saying that right now I send positive prayers to the environment that I live in. I cover myself and protect myself and guard myself with the positive shield of God. This is what I say, and you have to reject every emotion which is not good for you, which will affect your productivity, which will affect your purpose. So we need to be aware, and when we are in touch with the conscious, definitely we become more aware to our environment and people that are around us. So as it says, every brain is a broadcasting station and a receiving set. So that's the reason why we need to be careful. Some years ago, when I was first starting out, I delivered a series of lectures at the Harvard Business School. I told the students that my observations under Dr. Alexander Graham Bell and under Dr. Elmer R. Gates had been such that I believe the ether was constantly carrying sounds that we couldn't interpret with the human ear, that the human brain was constantly picking up thoughts from other brains, and the human brain was constantly sending out thoughts that other brains are picking up in turn. How powerful is our human brain, and no one teaches us that. So our brains, whether it's yours or mine, we are very powerful. Our brain is very powerful, and we are constantly picking up the emotional signals. Emotions are the ones that are sending signals, and we are picking them up. And so we need to be so careful, and we need to act according to the signals that we are receiving, and it is in our hands. So even when we are in an environment or living in a community where there is so much negativity, we should not be blaming, but rather we should be guarding our own receiving station so that it doesn't affect us. And our motto there, or our objective there, would be to do our best so that we are sending positive messages. And sometimes it so happens that you can't change the situation around, you can't change people around, but you can change yourself and your attitude. So that's why it's very important to understand, be conscious of what you're receiving. And in that scenario, there comes a time when you're in a constant desire, when your desire is strong, that either you be removed from that situation which you are not able to handle. And you would see that when you have that kind of desire, then definitely something happens where you are removed from that kind of environment which you are not able to handle. Because as it is said, that the creator, our divine creator, our heavenly father, does not test us beyond our patience. So anything that happens in our life does not go beyond our ability to handle. It would be within our ability to handle, and that's why we go through certain situations. But if it's something that is so difficult, so challenging, I can't do anything with human strength, and there is a supernatural strength. That's why we need our creator support. That's why we need our divine. That's why we need our God to help us through. All right. Okay, let's go ahead. So we have already kind of, I think talked about this, and we would be repeating it. I would not like to repeat this again and again. So coming back to again this last paragraph, and this last paragraph, as it says, that we are to keep our mind, that is our whole being. We have to keep on, focusing on our pathway, and it happens through the repetition, by thought, by action, and until and unless our brain is not able to absorb it. So we are educators, we are facilitators for our own self. We have to do that with our own brain. We have to facilitate, we have to make sure what is my brain tower receiving right now, this minute, this second. If it is not receiving something which is good for my sake or for my loved ones, then I need to reject it, and I need to really focus on what is supposed to be good for me. And yes, it is not very easy, and it does not take overnight. It is going to be a progressive work on you yourself, and that's why there is a repetition of certain sentences. The emphasis is so loud and clear again and again, on this chapter about definiteness of purpose. So let's look at some of the benefits of definiteness of purpose. Sorry. uh I've never in my whole life suggested that anybody do anything without giving them a good reason for doing it. When I speak about planting motives in people's minds, that's not just something for you to follow, it's something that I follow too. And I can give you some very good motives for following this lesson to the letter. First of all, definiteness of purpose automatically develops self reliance, personal initiative, imagination, enthusiasm, self discipline, and concentration of effort. All of these being prerequisites for any success of vital importance. That's quite an array of things that you develop if you develop definiteness of purpose. This is to say, knowing what you want, having a plan for getting it, and having your mind mostly occupied with carrying out that plan. It's like a project. You need to have a project. Your brain needs to have a project, and that project is your own life. And your life would have different, your life would have different, what do you call it? Maybe different, in a section of dream. Like we have website, and website has many pages. So it's like that with the brain. So you need to direct your brain accordingly. And the foundation of it, as it is said, when you have the definiteness of purpose, because that is what makes you confident and zealous towards getting what you want. So your brain needs to be occupied for it, and you need to continuously put your brain into action. If you have to adopt a plan, unless you are an unusual person, you're almost sure to adopt some plans that are not going to work so well. When you find out that your plan is not right, immediately discard it, get another one, and keep on until you find one that will work. So there are trial and errors as well. And many successful people have gone through so many trials and errors. And even I'm in the process of trials and errors, and I have many failures. And I really don't call them failures, but I also call them my successes, because it is through those failures that I find a way. So in every failure, we are able to find a way. We are able to find a pathway, and that is what is more important. That if we are conscious enough to understand that we are implementing this plan, and if it is not working for our good, then you need to work on another plan. Have another plan on table so that you are able to replace that plan. In the process of doing this, just remember one thing, that maybe infinite intelligence, being gifted with a great deal of wisdom, might have a plan for you better than the one you had for yourself. So it is God. The infinite intelligence is God. Here it is referred to God. I always make sure that, I always say that in my plans, I like to include God as in I include Jesus Christ, and I include the Holy Spirit. So I do believe in Trinity, and I say that the wisdom is, it shouldn't be human wisdom, but it should be a divine wisdom. It should be supernatural wisdom, because that supernatural wisdom is always better than the human, what human wisdom encompasses, because human wisdom is limited. It comes with a lot of limitations. It comes with a lot of survival mode network. And so we need to be more in the supernatural mode of network, where we know that we are operating by faith and not by sight. So this is what I meant to say. Have an open mind. So we need to have an open mind, as in, as it says, let your will be done. So it's like giving and surrendering everything that we have planned for. When we surrender and say, oh, I'm going to be at peace because I have this plan, it came to my mind, it is going to create a neural network, but I'm going to be keeping an open mind, because everything is happening for my best. Everything is happening for my best. So you need to really let your brain know that everything that is happening is only happening for your good, not for your good, but for your best. There is, everything is supposed to happen for best. So even that includes situations that you go through in life, broken relationships, perhaps breakups and failures. All this is part of you getting pruned to be the best. If you adopt a plan to carry out your major purpose or a minor purpose and it doesn't work well, dismiss the plan and ask for guidance from infinite intelligence. You may get that guidance. What can you do to be sure that you'll get it? How can you believe that you'll get it? You can believe that you'll get it, and it's not going to hurt if you say out loud that you believe it. I suspect that the creator can know your thoughts, but I found that if you express yourself with a lot of enthusiasm, it doesn't hurt any. And I'm sure that it doesn't hurt in arousing your subconscious mind. So, subconscious mind is your total being. It's every cell of your body. That's your subconscious. When I wrote Think and Grow Rich, its original title was The 13 Steps to Riches. And both the publisher and I knew that was not a box office title. We had to have $1 million title. The publisher kept prodding me every day to give him the title that I wanted. I wrote 500 or 600 titles and none of them were any good. Then one day he scared the dickens out of me. He called me up and said, tomorrow morning I've got to have that title. And if you don't have one, I have one that's a humdinger. What's it? I said. We are going to call it Use Your Noodle and Get the Boodle. My goodness, I said, you'll ruin me. This is a dignified book, and that's a flip title. That would ruin the book and me too. Whether it will or not, that's the title, unless you give me a better one by tomorrow morning. I want you to follow this incident because it has potent food for thought. That night, I sat down on the side of the bed and I had to talk with my subconscious mind. I said, now, look, you old stuff. You and I have gone a long way together. You have done a lot of things for me and some things to me, thanks to my ignorance. But I have got to have $1 million title and have got to have it tonight. Do you understand that? So you understand when the author says that I was talking to my subconscious mind, so it is connecting with your creator at that level and saying that God, you have done a lot of things for me. I need to have this $1 million title. So this is, and for all of you that believe in whatever, again, you are free to interpret it, but the way you want. But the real interpretation is having that supernatural guidance and taking help from the supernatural guidance to help you define and bottom line to what you exactly want. That's what the author did. I won't be reading it. Eventually, the author did get the title, and it was Think and Grow Rich because that came into the author's mind in the morning. And they got up from their bed and they wrote that title down, and that was it. And this book has grossed over 23 million in the United States and over 100 million worldwide. It's a multi-million-dollar title, as the author had desired in the mind. So this is the beauty of you, your brain, your subconscious, and in all in all, it is basically your own divine connection with yourself, with your definiteness of purpose, so that the experience that this author had, the author of the book had, can be your own experience, and that you're able to achieve what you have always envisioned for your life. So I hope we will stop it at this. I guess that uh, we have pretty much covered a lot of it. And in the next chapter, we would be looking at applying the principle of definite major purpose. So I have summarized the chapter one, and chapter one is about 7 premises. And please do go ahead and re-listen to the 7 premises and understand that you need to have definite major purpose for your life. I hope you loved this session. I'm trying my best and going with the flow. And as I say that it's a long video, but I'm sure that through this long video you're able to get the message, or that the divine speaks to you in a very special way, that you're able to connect with what I'm trying to say, and I'm just going with the flow with my words. I'm not reading word to word. Where I feel I should read, I'm reading, and where I should leave out, I'm leaving out stuff. So anyway, so I am being myself, and once again, thank you. If you have stayed till the end, I'm thankful to you. And I would still say that I would encourage you guys, if you like my content, please do hit the like button, and please do subscribe to my channel if you find this content useful in helping you and in your life. And I would also say this, that if you really want to enroll for the Neuro CBT Practitioner Diploma course coming up in October, I would say that the link is below. Please do connect with me. Initially, we will be taking emails, and then if you're interested, we will be sending you the registration forms to register for the course. And we would also add you to the WhatsApp group. All right, take care and have a fun day. And thank you once again for listening up, and I'll see you in the next session. Thank you so much.